Hello, everybody. How are you this evening? Um, I hope y'all got a chance to listen to that the Hillsong video that I made yesterday. I watched the documentary again today with my friend because he hadn't seen it yet. And again, it's really good if you're interested in that kind of thing. And I suggest you watch it if you haven't yet. So I mentioned that I think I mentioned that I had a dream that I wanted to share with you all because it's what happened in the dream is like something that I've never experienced before. And I barely ever, remember my dreams, and they're uneventful and I'm never like flying and doing stuff like that. They're just uneventful. Okay. Uh but this one, so let me tell you what happened. All right. Now, I'm not a dream interpreter. I don't know. I'd have to Google just like everybody else. I have no idea. All right. But let me tell you what I think. So now I told you all that uh, August 4th last year, my brother died. And, well, not just my brother, our brother, because I have sisters. Our brother died. And so, I've still been processing that. And my older sister, she's really had a very hard time with his death. So, and there's four of us now. There was five with Gary, and he was the second to oldest. Okay, so she told us a while back that she had a dream about him, and he said he was okay and all that. Well, and I haven't, and I told you all that I felt like I had never before Gary. The only person that died that I was close to was my dad, and then I was very young, so that kind of doesn't count because I don't remember, but I remember Gary. All right, and it was very devastating, but I kind of bounced back really quickly. And in one of my videos, I told y'all like I wondered about that. I'm like, should I be super sad, because I'm not. And I told my sister, I said, well, it's almost like I don't have a reason to be super sad, because I don't feel like I've lost anything or I've lost him or, I don't know. And I still feel that way. Right. Well, I mean, apparently I do. I miss my brother the way that he was when he was here. Okay. So in my dream, I was going to see him. He was in some house doing something. I don't know. So I'm going into the house, and there was somebody with me, but I don't remember who it was. I just know that there was somebody walking with me into the house, and it was almost like the house we lived in when we lived in southern Louisiana. Like there were trees around and stuff like that. But as I'm walking into the house, I'm starting to hurry because there's a wolf outside. And so I'm walking in the house. So imagine me, like the door's in front of me. Okay. And I'm walking in. To the left of me, there are like some bushes. And there's a wolf in those bushes looking at me. Now I knew the wolf was in the bushes. This is the part that I've never experienced before. I knew it was in the bushes because I was the wolf. I was looking through its eyes. I did the Cheryl walking through the door to the house did not see the wolf, but I got nervous because I knew it was there because I was the wolf. Okay. And I'm seeing through the wolf. So I'm not. So normally when I dream, I see myself doing stuff, So I could see myself walking through the door. right? Like that happens, when I dream. It's when some people they are themselves, and they're experiencing the dream like that, or it's like they're looking at a movie, looking at themselves. I'm the movie type, always has been, always have been, okay? Except for this time. But this time it wasn't like Cheryl. It wasn't the Cheryl walking through the house and I was seeing I wasn't looking at the wolf. I was looking through its eyes. And looking through its eyes, I just knew what it was. Okay. Even though the Cheryl walking through the house didn't see it. And it's not like I was, watching a movie of a wolf as the wolf or something. Do you know what I'm saying? So the weird thing, that was the first weird thing, right? Is that I'm actually looking through the eyes of another thing. And I've never done that before. Okay. And number two, the other weird thing is that I was able to do that. Like, I've never, like been another entity or, in a dream. I've always been Cheryl, always, always experienced the dream as me. So I went in there and I told my brother, I said, Gary, like, do you have a gun or something? I said, there are wolves out there. He was like, no, there's not. And I said, yes, there is. I know that there is, and then he said something to me. I don't remember exactly what it was, but then I said to him, your funeral, I said, your ceremony was really nice. And I told him that I said, your son, like, he did a really good job, talking about, giving a speech about you and how great of a father you were and all that. And then, I started crying in my dream, and all that. So of course, so number one, I miss my brother. Okay. I miss him. And number two, it's so weird that at the same time, I'm two different different perspectives. It's not like I'm Cheryl and then I'm a different person. No, I'm Cheryl and I'm this animal. And the thing was, right, is that as Cheryl, okay, I said I felt nervous because I knew there was a wolf over there. I was a little anxious. But as the wolf, I was calm. But I was waiting. Like there was no fear. I was very calm, just waiting because I knew Cheryl had to come back out that door. Okay. Oh my goodness, y'all. It was so crazy. So crazy. Very interesting though. I've really never done that before. Which brings to mind, I'm on Facebook right now. There's a guy, his name is Jim Palmer. Apparently he's a formal evangelical pastor. I don't know how long he pastored, and I don't know where, but he's former. And I read a little bit about his conversion story, but I don't remember enough to tell you what it was. I know he preached somewhere in Chicago. Okay. Apparently it was a big church. Like he was a big person, and he's a human. He considers himself a humanist now. And he wrote a book that I don't remember the name of. I'm sorry. But what he's been doing is he's been posting like excerpts. I think they're excerpts from his book on Facebook, really delving into. So now that he's no longer an evangelical pastor, he's really looking at the Bible and scripture and all that. And the things he writes are interesting. They're very, very interesting. And I commented on one of his posts and I said that, I don't subscribe to all those, rituals and stuff, like I used to, when I was a Christian. However, the things he's writing are really interesting. And what I said was, I shared his post and I said that. I said, because it was something about Paul and the Pauline writings or whatever. And I said in my post, I was like, this stuff is interesting. And what I noticed is that when I was a Christian, the Bible was never interesting. I was never, and I say that. So what do I mean by that? It was never interesting. I wasn't interested because it was right. Like it was like there was not anything. I was only interested to the extent to where, okay, what do I have to do in this situation? You know, or what's the right thing to do here? Or what would Jesus do in this situation? You know, it was that kind of interest, you know, which was the interest that would get me something. Think of financial terms, okay? Like I'm getting a return from this interest that I have, trying to figure out, well, what's the right thing to do in a situation as a mother, as a wife, as you know. So, but now, when I say I'm interested in it, it's more like um, it's not about a return. It's more like I wonder, you know, like if I'm learning something, I don't know, art or something like that, you know, and I find it, man, this style is very interesting. Like how do they do that? You know what I'm saying? It's a different kind of interest now because, and I compared it to, think of, I had never been interested in myself in the 30 something years, you know, that I had lived, you know, as a Christian. I was never interested in Cheryl. There was never a moment when I was like, huh, I wonder who Cheryl is, you know, because I knew I was, you know, a woman. I knew I was black. I knew I was a sinner. I knew I was going to hell if I didn't do this. I knew a whole bunch of stuff about Cheryl. Interest for what? Cheryl was not interesting. Okay, not at all. Not at all. You know. So any questions I asked were to make myself better than what I knew I was. You know, or at least to attempt to make myself better, you know. But there was never any genuine, I don't know this about Cheryl. So I wonder, I'm really interested in how she feels about situations like this. Like I'm really interested in why. Why did Cheryl, you know, take this point of view when it comes to this particular thing? Why does she do that? Those were never questions that I asked ever, you know. But and having that dream, right, where I experienced myself as something else, you know, and really saw me from a different perspective and saw as that perspective, you know. That's some interesting shit. Like it really is. And it's like when I told you guys how, I think it was in that video about how do you know you're enlightened, right? When I said uh we 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 think of ourselves the way we think of our cell phones, our mobile phones, okay? Your mobile phone, like if I'm sure you have a mobile phone, like almost everybody in in the world has a mobile phone. I'm sure you have one, okay? But when you pick up your phone, like if you have it right now or if it's near you or something, if you look at it, you have to realize that that's not a phone. Like you do see that, right? You do see that your mobile phone is not a phone. It rings when somebody calls you and you answer. But right now, if you're on it now, you're also listening to a video that's streaming on StreamYard and YouTube. You take pictures with this thing. You put notes in this thing about the grocery store. You make recordings with this thing. This thing gives you directions to where you want to go. It helps you not be lost. Okay. It wakes you up in the morning. It reminds you, hey, you got an appointment in 2 weeks. Why are we calling it a phone? That's not a phone. You know, like I said yesterday, we so quick to label some stuff. Aren't we quick to put a label on it? And what do we do when we label things like that? We ignore all the stuff that tells us your label is incorrect. And I think that's what we do with ourselves. When I call myself Cheryl, when I say I'm human, when I say I'm a woman, all those limits help me to ignore all the stuff that tells me you're not a human. You're not a Cheryl. You're not a woman. Pick a label. That ain't you. You know? And the dream I had, like, kind of like reminded me of that, you know, in a very different way. I mean, I never would have. Can I pick the animal next time? Do I have to be a wolf? Can I be a butterfly or something? You know. But it was just really interesting, and I just wanted to share that with you all tonight before I forget. I have a lot of other things. I told you I've been taking notes, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that I want to just come on here and chat with you about that I find interesting. And it's faster than writing a blog post, even though I love blogging. And I do have blog posts on my Life Without a Witness blog over there, if y'all haven't been over there. But I'm still writing. But that's all I wanted to say tonight. I hope y'all are having a good evening, day, wherever you are, what time it is. And I'll see you back here very, very soon. I want to talk about the Netflix series Afterlife. Oh my God. I watched was it 3 seasons in one sitting? It was so good. All right. So I'm going to do another review of that when I come back. Okay. So y'all have a great night. I'll talk to you later.